Good morning. I want to do I am more discombobulated than ever before. Most of you would think, well, she's always like this on Mondays. I just got back from a weekend long state conference where I didn't sleep. So I haven't had much sleep in the past couple days. So I'm just like, but I want to do Flashback Monday done. Um, so I prepared it before my trip, but now I've lost my train of thought because it was before my trip. But I really want to get this done. And I've also, if you've been watching the unboxings, I just got a huge shipment of boxes, so I want to go through those too. But I don't have. I want to do Flashback Monday first before I get distracted by those boxes. So we are doing November 2013 today. I'm getting upset because we're running out. We've only got 3 more years. We end in 2016. We started in 2007. And if you haven't watched any of the earlier ones, please go back and watch because you can still get those books today. These books are still valid. And welcome to the D. Louise book series. I'm Christina Tina. This is where we read books, talk about books, no special effects, no theme music, none of that fancy stuff going on here. And I want to shout out to Selena and to Trudy and to Z-Book and Leaf Sonata. I have no idea if I'm saying any of these right. If I'm not, I apologize. Like these little pieces of paper. So, our first book, we always start with Regency. We work our way through the book. Sometimes, Romantic Times changes the order of the in-between ones, depending on, I guess, how many books they have. I really have no idea how they do it. I've been trying to figure it out for a long time. I haven't figured it out yet. But they always start with Regency and end with Paranormal, Urban, and a Harlequin. The other ones, the inspirational, mainstream, contemporary, they sometimes switch places. But it always starts with Regency and it always ends with the Paranormal, Urban, and Harlequin. So our first Harlequin is Once a Rake by Eileen Dreyer. And I just search Lady in Red right there. Once a Rake. And for the record, I sometimes forget to mention it, but I usually only do 4 or 4.5 stars for these reviews. Every once in a while, I'll throw in a 3, and I will say what I will tell the 3 and why. And every once in a while, there's a 2, and I will also tell the reason. We had a Daniel Steele way several, maybe it was like a year ago magazine time frame. It was Second Street or something that only got 2 stars, but because it was a Daniel Steele, we couldn't resist throwing it in. And there's been a couple of Miss Hamiltons up there that have gotten 3s, but she's our author, so we threw her in. But most of these are at least 4 or 4.5 stars that I do. So if you're wondering how I choose, I usually choose the 4.5 to and 4 stars to talk about in this reviews. Dreyer is a master storyteller who merges intrigue and passion perfectly, with characters you can see and almost touch. Action, adventure, dark secrets, vicious spies, tenderness, compassion, and deep love. Once a Rake is hard to put down and difficult to forget. Happily, it's just the beginning of a new trilogy in Dreyer's Drake's Rake series. Colonel Ian Ferguson is unjustly accused of attempting to assassinate the Duke of Wellington and ends up shot and overboard. He is swept ashore, a fugitive on the run. When he finds shelter on Lady Sarah Clark's island as the illegitimate child of a nobleman, Sarah yearns for acceptance and respect. Sarah is trying to manage her missing husband's estate and hold on to her reputation when she finds Ian. Though she knows the danger he represents, Sarah hides him from the law and nurses him back to health. They understand each other's inner turmoil and need for acceptance, and one forbidden kiss seals their fate. When it becomes imperative Ian find the true traitors, he kidnaps Sarah to protect her reputation, and together they embark on a journey to clear his name. Now, because this is the time frame, and because they go off together, and because they go off unchaperoned, the fate sealed right there. The luckiest lady in London. Maybe we should have done this for our St. Patrick's Day luckiness. And if you haven't watched those two videos, please go watch those two videos. It was a Regency based of all the someone had gambling debts, so they married this woman because they had debts and she had a big dowry. Or the woman was marrying the guy because her father had gambling debts, so she was marrying the rich guy to pay off the father's debts. Or somebody made, I bet you can't get her to kiss you wager. Those were the St. Patrick's Day Regency ones. And then we had a bonus episode Saturday where I was doing a Google search using Microsoft Copilot for Regency, for involving St. Patrick's Day or Irish or something like that. And all of these books came up by all of these authors. Now, some of these titles were real, and the authors were real, but this author did not write this book. And it put her characters in this book. They are not in that book. Her characters are not in the book. She did not write that book. So it's, I wanted to say Blarney Stone, but I didn't think about it till after I did the video. And because I never said Blarney Stone during the video, I wasn't going to put a fake title where some other people do. And, so it's fake books, not by real authors. Some of those titles really exist, but this author didn't write it, and her characters didn't appear into it. And Copilot used all her characters for the books. It's really weird how it happened. Now put this back. But anyways, The Luckiest Lady in London by Sherry Thomas. The ladies all in green. I took 108 pictures this weekend and about 12 videos. For me. Well, some of the pictures I'll share with other people, but the videos will stay private. 4.5 stars. Thomas continues to be a refreshing voice in the genre with her lovely plots, witty dialogue, and intelligent characters. With The Luckiest Lady in London, she's compelled to think, feel, laugh, and ultimately have a deep sigh of satisfaction. We are the luckiest readers to have the opportunity to savor her short, quick, and sparkling tale. 4.5 stars. Louisa Cantwell vowed to always care for her sisters. She must marry well and set out for her season to catch a rich husband. When Louisa meets Felix Rivendell, dubbed society's ideal gentleman, she cannot believe he would pay attention to her. Though he has sworn off marriage until he is much older, Felix realizes Louisa isn't an ordinary young woman and presents a challenge. To everyone else, Felix is a paragon of virtue, yet Louisa brings out the scoundrel in him. He does his best to punish away her possible suitors. At the end of the season, he is the only one who offers for her, and she accepts. I don't know. That doesn't sound very romantic. I don't know. I, I don't know. I don't know. That just didn't hit me right. Um, Jennifer Haymore, The Rogue's Proposal. 4.5 stars. Haymore secures her reputation for crafting original suspenseful, highly sensual love stories. Her strong characters, their powerful dialogue, and the fast-moving plot add to the enjoyment as much as the high degree of sensuality. Oh yeah, look, naked guy on the cover. The House of Trent has its problems, but rescuing the family's kidnapped mother is top priority. Lucas Hawkins, the second son, is determined to succeed where his brother, the Duke, failed. He is hunting the alleged kidnapper, Roper Morton, when he meets Emma Curtis, a woman out for revenge. Morton killed Emma's husband and ruined her family. She'll happily team up with Luke to see Morton brought to justice. Luke is willing to bring Emma along on his journey and longs to have her in his arms every night. This is Emma's opportunity to delight in fantasy and allow her deepest desires reign free. Emma forces Luke to look deeply into his darkest secrets and family rivals. She brings out the best in him. Oh. You'll also have to forgive the um signer strip. I went 6 months with nothing. It was so awesome. And now I'm drowning. So, Moya Rodell. We're going to come back to this page a few times. There you go. The Lady in Purple. Oh, look, naked guy on the cover. Um, The Wicked Wallflower, 4.5 stars. An offshoot for her Writing Girl series, this latest novel from her rising star Rodell is just what every reader wants. Witty repartee, intelligent characters, and a fast-paced and joyous love story. Lady Emma Avery has been dubbed London's least likely to misbehave. Being a wallflower is not fun, so when she and her friends make a joke of writing an announcement declaring her betrothal to the Duke of Ashbrook, the most eligible and least likely to wed, and the letter is accidentally published, Emma fears the worst. But Ashbury needs to marry, or at least appear to, so he plays along, offering Emma a temporary engagement. Emma can cry off once all is settled, and there is some kissing going on, so that's all the better for Ashbrook. Marriage of convenience that turns into love. We will be doing one of those. Where's my pen? I've got a uh, if-then list growing for the we had to get married and the married of convenience one, so that'll be done. So this was the no. Pretend and convenience. That'll be good. Okay. Jody Thomas, Promise Me Texas. I never understand how my idea of thinking of Regency is England, London, 1800, not Texas. But hey, Jody Thomas, Promise Me Texas. 4.5 stars. And this is a little late. I like my Regencies just a tad bit earlier, 1810, 1820. This is 1879, but it did get 4.5 stars. Thomas' stories make everyone believe Texas is the greatest place on earth, and as she brings an unlikely pair of lovers together in an adventure romance, readers will wish they could visit Whispering Mountain. A few hours before her wedding, Beth McMurray is on a midnight train to Dallas, spying on her fiancé, a powerful Texas senator. When she overhears his heartless remarks about her and their future, nothing could be more hurtful, or so she thinks, until there's a train wreck and Beth lands on top of a train robber, who is Andrew McLaughlin. Is a writer, not an outlaw, but when he wakens after being injured in a wreck, he's not about to argue with the beautiful woman who claims him as her husband. Interesting. Um, try as we might. Yeah. If you have seen my earlier one of my first regencies, one of my first if thens involved this woman. I did an if then. Uh, if you like this author, you like that author. We did my Stephanie Lawrence and Sisters, and I've been saying often that if anybody needs a TV series, it's the Sisters. Because unlike Miss Bridgerton, there's only 9 kids. There's probably 40 or 50 at this juncture Sinster books. And go watch my if then video, and I will explain that we have your core 9 Sinsters. And then these characters show up as secondary characters in the next books. And the secondary characters are the main characters in the next books. We go from the Sinsters and the Bastion Club and the Buccaneers and the Black Cobras. It ends with the Buccaneers. And then there were some Barnaby mysteries after that. And then there's the next generation after that. Those books go on. So if anybody wants to make a TV series, The Sinsters is the way to go. You could probably get, if you do a book a season, you could probably get 15, 20 years out of these books. I'm telling you, Devil would make a good Sebastian Sinster good series. But on the other hand, Julia Quinn has gone, and she's done a few extras, a few spin-offs. And the Smythes, with the girls were one of her spin-offs. They don't have the same ruggedness as my Sinsters. My Sinsters are adventurers and rogues. But the Smythes are good. So we got our Smythes. The Sum of All Kisses. Julia Quinn. 4 stars. 1820 England. Quinn is always a delight. The third installment to the Bridgerton spin-off series, the Smythe Quartet, is a wild romp about adventures to become friends and then lovers. Lady Sarah Plainsworth is a veteran of 3 unsuccessful London seasons. 2 of her cousins are now getting married, and she is on the shelf. And whose fault is it? Lord Hugh Prentice. His duel with her cousin Daniel cost the family greatly and cost her a season. Sarah hates Hugh, but ironically finds herself his partner for 2 of her cousins' weddings. He turns out to be a worthy adversary with a quick mind and sexy smirk. Soon disdain turns to admiration and then to love. Aww. How to win a Highlander. Naked guy on the cover. 4 stars. And this is a tad bit early to be a Regency. This is 1489 Scotland. Wine creates a wonderful cast of characters for an entertaining romance set against a historically accurate backdrop of medieval Scotland. Ben Fraser is forcing his half-sister Moira to marry elderly Laird Matheson. This union will give Barry the support he needs in a war of vengeance against his old enemy, Graham Sutherland. The Sutherlands do not trust anything Barry says or does, since his sister tried to kill Graham's father. Okay. A Tryst with Trouble. Alyssa Everett. 4 stars. 1820 England. The alternating perspectives really highlight the sparks flying between Ben and Barbara, showing the physical attraction that begins with their first verbal sparring match over decor and continues to gain heat throughout. Lord Benningbrough, the future Duke of Ormsby, is determined to help his cousin Teddy, Lord Claiborne, avoid marriage to Helen, a flighty young woman who already has a reputation for dallying with her neighbor's footman. Ben doesn't think too highly of the future Lady Claiborne, but her sister is another matter entirely. Barbara is nothing like her maneuvering sister, possessing a quick wit and keen intellect. She has vowed never to marry, choosing to live off her inheritance instead of relying on a man. See what happens. Lord Rickshaw, naked guy on the cover. Who doesn't love Virginia Henley? If you haven't read Virginia Henley, it's worth it. She is awesome. She's an awesome writer. She's right up there with Mary Jo Putney. Um, I don't think so. Oh, like I said, I've been away for a few days. I have no idea what I'm doing. Naked guy on the cover. 4 stars. Known for both saucy sexual historical romances and accurate fictionalized historical biographies, Henley delivers the fourth and final installment of her Peers of the Realm quartet. Here is a sumptuous portrait of Victoria's court before and after Prince Albert's death. Not only is there a feisty heroine and lusty hero, but lush descriptions of court life. Since the day Lord James Hamilton lifted Lady Anne Curzon's house chain and told her she was beautiful, Anne has been in love with James, heir to the Duke of Abercorn and the Prince of Wales' newly appointed attendant. Is a well-known rake, at times leading the prince astray. Yet when he again meets Anne, James becomes obsessed with her. He does his best to woo her, not knowing that his younger brother is among Anne's many suitors. Naked guy on the cover. Oh, good. To have and to hold. 1865 Santa Fe Trail. Again with the cowboy in my Regency. 1865 Santa Fe Trail. Greenwood is a master at westerns. His cowboys are the best. The first book in the Cactus Creek Cowboys series is full of action and mad escapades. Colby Bain longs for love and family, but he has learned the hard way that those are not for him. Though he keeps to himself, he doesn't hesitate to rescue a helpless wagon train under attack by Indians. Naomi Kessling is grateful to Colby for saving her family, but she doesn't trust him. He is a man of many secrets, and she has enough nightmares of her own, but the trek to Santa Fe opens his eyes and their hearts to each other. Aww. Once she was tempted. Oh, I wrote down the wrong page. Oh, oops. A Lady in Blue. When she was tempted. Technically, naked girl on the cover. That's a first or a second. Anne Barton, 4 stars. Barton follows up When She Was Wicked with a delightful tale filled with sexual sizzle and banter. Benjamin Elliot, the cynical, ill-tempered Earl of Foxbourne, is interested in meeting the paragon of virtue. His prodigy plans to wed, but when he sees the beautiful young woman, he's stunned. She has the same lovely sapphire eyes and streaming hair Ben sees every day when he stares at the scandalous portrait hanging in his study. Is she the lady in his study? Once desperate for funds to provide a doctor for her mother, Stephanie Honeycoat posed for 2 portraits. She thought her secret was safe until now. Marry me or I'll tell the world that that's you. Bad boy, bad boy. He's just a bad boy. Uh, to have and to hold. Didn't we? We did that one. Okay. Sins of a Wicked Princess. Why do I have the feeling we did that one? Was that? Nope. It wasn't on 95. There's no special editing here. I'm sorry. Ah, Lady in Green. Hey, naked lady and naked guy on the cover. Equal rights. Anne Randolph, 4 stars. In the last of Randolph's Sinners Trio series, she pairs a strong-willed, exiled princess with a charismatic and dangerous ex-spy. When Ian Maddox discovers that someone is out to kill him and the other 2 members of his trio, his investigation leads him to Princess Juliana Castelvana. But this young woman is not what he expects. No coward, Juliana doesn't back down, even when Ian threatens her with bodily harm. When she admits to not knowing what the trio is, Ian believes her. She makes a bargain with him. She'll help him if he'll help her retrieve incriminating documents and gain her back her kingdom. Okay. Um, One Night with a Laird. Nicole Cornick. Little, little bit country, little bit rock and roll. I don't know why that came into my head. Well, because I saw the country landscaping. Um. So the scandal. This is 4 stars. The scandalous widow and rakish laird make quite a pair in Cornick's sexy, fancy romp of a romance. Lady Mary McLeod is looking for a man to take her to bed and ease the loneliness she felt since her husband's death. She chooses her masked lover carefully, but after a night of incredible and inventive passion, she discovers her lover is Jack Rutherford. Jack is a handsome devil, self-centered and charismatic, the kind of man she hates. Jack spends months searching for his mystery lover and finds her when he's asked to escort Mary to a family christening. They are oil and water, each doing their best to annoy, embarrass, and get away with from another as they journey north. Okay. See what happens there. One Night with a Wicked Man. Let's see. The Lady in Red. I have quite a few Liz Carlisles. 4 stars. Relying on a generous standard plot twist, Amnesia, Carlyle weaves a lovely story of two lost souls who find a surprising set chance at salvation. Oh, Amnesia. It's another one of those identity ones. Um, Amnesia. Yes. From childhood, ruthless gaming salon owner Edward Quartermain. General Hospital! Has survived by using his mathematical ability. Edward is on his way to a country house he acquired as payment for a debt when a riding accident leaves him with amnesia. Kate, Lady Alida, is stunned when she causes a rider to suffer a fall. Always in charge and devoted to Bellamy Castle, Kate is never careless. She brings the stranger home, not knowing the risk he possesses to a home and heart. I bet he's the new owner of her home. That could be a issue. A Midsummer Bride. Amanda Forrester. See if we can do this. 4 stars. This springly romance sparkles with light humor and delight cast characters, including staid dukes, devilish mothers, a crotchety grandfather, an outspoken American heiress, and an unlikely pair of matchmakers. When American heiress Harriet Burton's ship is attacked by a British frigate off the United States coast, she uses the fact that she is Lord Langley's granddaughter to negotiate safe passage. Instead of being left in New York, she is taken to London to meet the grandmother she has never known. The old cantankerous Langley wants nothing to do with his granddaughter and hires London's finest matchmaker, Madam X, to find her a husband as upcoming party. Face from the moment she meets Harriet. Yeah. From the moment he meets Harriet, Duncan McLaughlin, Earl of Thornton, is intrigued. Time and time again, he rescues her from social faux pas, defending her when chemistry experiments go awry, or when she speaks out against the impressment of American sailors. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe not. Um, when the Marquis met his mop. 4 stars. Lori Geekery. Gerke enchants with a charming tale of a rogue and a prim widow who are at odds until a surprising passion changes their lives. Lady Belinda Featherstone is dedicated to helping American heiress happily marry. After all, she had once been an innocent as her clients and knows how it feels to be married for money and be left broken heart. She'd never allow a man like notorious rake Nicholas Sterling, Marquis of Sturbridge, to woo one of her proteges. Nicholas needs a wealthy bride, and Belinda steers her charges away from him. Nicholas hires Belinda as his matchmaker. She reluctantly accepts him as a client, daring to hope she can find the scoundrel a woman who will further ruin his reputation, and it ends up being her, right? Right? Um, and our final Regency one, the the Highlander's Dangerous Temptation. It's a Harlequin in the middle of Regency. Historical. Terry Brisbane. Oh, only got 3 stars. Brisbane crafts an uncomplicated read for her fans, delivering the next chapter in the McClary series. Laird or not, Athad McCallan will never marry again. He can't allow that curse that has taken all of his previous women to harm another. But when the daughter of his friend appears, he the promises he made impossible to keep. Isabel wants Athar, and she would do anything necessary to keep him. And then he loses his memory. Well, that'll solve that problem. All right. On to mainstream fiction. Let's see. Adrian Trigani. Who even knows what's in here? Um, excuse me. Oh, my book got in there. Get this out. I do not know. Excuse me. The Supreme Macaroni Company, Adrian Trigani, 4.5 stars. The third book of the Valentine trilogy is a poignant story that whisks readers through a spectacular adventure of love that crosses two continents. It boasts captivating characters, a couple of jaw-dropping plot twists, and romance as rich as full-bodied Merlot. Merlot, sorry. A century-old business relationship between a shoe company and a leather dealer results in a modern-day love story between Tana Jalushi, but I can't say it, and former Valentine, can't say it. Valentine, now a shoemaker who is helping to build the family empire, announces the news of their engagement to her family, and everyone is filled with anticipation for the big wedding. On Christmas Eve night, a secret is confessed, and Val must find a way to make the decision of a lifetime. Will blood prove to be thicker than water once she has experienced the taste of everlasting love? Don't know. We'll see. Fern Michaels classified. Did I? It's, I thought I saw this. I thought I saw this. What's that? I thought I did. You know, I haven't been here for a couple of days. I do apologize. I, I, when one makes a leaning tower of Pisa out of her books, one needs to expect they will fall over. Here we go. Fern Michaels. 4.5 stars. Grab some tissues as you read the latest installment of the Outstanding Godmother series, which contains an abundance of poignancy, wit, charm, and laugh out loud moments. The wonderful characters don't back down from any challenge, including challenges of the heart. Abby and Chris have been happily married for a year now, and everything appears to be golden. When Abby keeps getting sick, she fears the worst, and wild rumors begin to fly. Abby mom Tessa Toots Laudenberry has her own problems with her friend Dr. Phil Becker. He wants more than friendship, but he keeping a secret and is afraid once he finds out he will turn his back on her. To keep her mind off these romantic troubles, Toots decides to throw herself into Abby and Chris's pet project, opening a safe haven for rescue animals on their property. Meanwhile, when two children are kidnapped, the godmothers are on it faster than a fly on flypaper. So Sophie and her psychic powers are put to a test, and she proves to the naysayers that her gifts are real. Go, Sophie! Go, Sophie! This one I just saw. Stella Bain, Anita Shreve. 4.5 stars. Like Shreve's acclaimed book, The Pilot's Wife, her latest novel explores the inner and outer lives of her characters through a mystery identity. Readers will feel as if they are unraveling a thread as the Shreve deftly reveals Stella's past and her reclamation of the future. Stella awakens in a hospital ward in France with no memory of anything before the last few months. All she can seem to recall is the name Stella Bain, and she knows how to drive an ambulance. When she's able, Stella leaves France for England, where she is found by a doctor's wife, Lily Bridges. Lily recognizes something is not right with the lovely young woman in the garden and brings her home for her husband August to heal. August realizes Stella is suffering from shell shock as well as pneumonia, and he becomes determined to help her regain her memory and her health. As she's recuperating, Stella strives to recall anything of her past, but her only drawings give artists a hint as to her true self. As Stella recovers and more information begins to emerge, she must face the truth of her illness to have another chance at happiness. See what happens there. Okay. We did that. We did that. We did that. The runaway wife. Let's see. I don't see it. I don't have a picture and I don't have a book. And it's in my list of havings, but I don't see it here. Like I said, I was away at Strike Conference, so I didn't pick these up. Someone else picked them up. Um, so I will just do The Runaway Wife, Rowan Coleman, 4.5 stars. The Runaway Wife is a beautifully written and extremely well crafted tale of the different way love enters and exits our lives. Worn down by abusive relationship, Rose Pritchard clings to the kind words written to her in a letter years ago. Steeling her spine, she takes her daughter, leaves everything behind, and heads for the village of Milthwaite, searching for the only person who ever offered Rose even a smidgen of hope. But when she arrives, Rose is confronted by obstacles she never expected, and she wonders if she's made a terrible mistake. I hope she's okay. Third wife, Octavia, 4 stars. In this latest thrilling novel, Octavia's storytelling is so impressive and addictive that readers won't be able to resist. Mayor Jameson Taylor of Atlanta marries his gold digger assistant Lorna after she pops up pregnant. But while Lorna may have nabbed the ring in the house, she hasn't won Jameson's heart. She soon finds herself ignored and miserable as Jameson tries to keep their marriage out of the press until he can inform his son and ex-wife. Jameson's paparazzi stalker follows him everywhere and broadcasts all of his business, but his career and reputation may turn out to be the least of his worries. See what happened there. And that is the end of mainstream fiction. We are now on to teen. I don't know if I have all of these. We might. Let's get these. CJ Lyons Broken, 4 stars. A 4.5 stars, excuse me. A chilling medical suspense story. Lyon's specialty expertly entwines with teen-oriented family drama and the eye-catching rolling social hierarchy that is high school. Scarlett's descriptive inner monologue puts readers right in the middle of the observant 15-year-old shoes of an observant 15-year-old with a debilitating heart condition. It's Monday and Scarlett is starting her first day of high school. She has a week to prove to her mom, the school nurse, that she can be just your average student while living with lung long QT, a genetic heart disorder that could kill her at any moment. She makes friends in the peer support group, but they're teased relentlessly by everyone else. Scarlett's only other allies are Tony, her eager lab partner, and alas, her mom. An assignment sends her seeking the truth about her medical history. By Friday, Scarlett questions her family, her new friends, and with Tony's help, her illness. We'll see what happens there. Sounds a little heart-wrenching. This woman resides on those shelves back there. Rochelle Mead, The Fiery Heart, 4.5 stars. The Bloodline series is filled with jaw-dropping action, humor, and heart-stopping romance, and this is the greatest installment yet. Sydney develops into an even stronger and more lovable character, and readers will swoon each time Adrian appears. When Sydney chose Adrian, she turned her back on the alchemist for good, but the alchemists never let go of those who think they own. As Sydney battles to keep her friends safe, she must also hide her magical abilities and her true feelings from the alchemist set to help her. Her own little sister Zoe, everything is Sydney's doing undermines the belief once forced upon her to get caught would result in a terrible punishment. See what happens there. And there's one other. I just had this in my hand. There we go. Desert Tales. 4.5 stars. Originally a graphic novel, this companion to Mars' Wicked Lovely books is just as enchanting, complex, and imaginative. Readers will be left satisfied with this brief yet intriguing new perspective into the world of Fae. Once Rike is free from the curse of a winter girl, she flees to the Mojave Desert. Isolated from the fairy courts, her only true ally is Shy, a deceptive fairy who encourages her to emerge from seclusion. A romance with a mortal gives her newfound confidence to defy the Summer King, protecting the desert and all that she holds dear. Interesting. And we move on to inspirational. And usually, if I had been home, but I wasn't home, I usually get a few more of these, but I didn't this time around because I wasn't home. Severed Trust. Margaret Daly, 4.5 stars. Daly addresses the growing trend and popular misconception that prescription medications are not dangerous, what couldn't be further from the truth, and does not sugarcoat the stark reality that no one is invincible in Book 4 of the Men of Texas Rangers series. And the chapters end with cliffhangers. I hate cliffhangers. Texas Ranger Ethan Stone is investigating the death of a popular student from an apparent prescription drug overdose. Teacher Sadie Thompson is alarmed when she realizes how widespread the problem is. Ethan believes a prescription drug ring is rampant at the high school level, especially after it appears that his niece has been drugged. 2 other students die mysterious deaths. Can Ethan and Sadie find the source before the situation becomes dire? Just need to. Let's move on to the next one. A Bride for Noah. I do not think that made it. Like I said, I wasn't. Shit. Shoot. Sorry. I don't see it. I wasn't the one to pick these books up, but it couldn't be avoided. I had to go to state conference. So there is no special editing here. I'll just do it without a picture. I am sorry. Unless it's I don't think it's a top pick. It is a top pick, but it's not pictured, which sucks. Ooh, naked guy. We'll have to show those later. All right, let me just read this. Laurie Copeland and Virginia Smith. 4.5 stars. Copeland and Smith pen an engaging tale about the founding of Seattle, rich in detail. After a broken engagement, Evie Lawrence is ready for change when her employer Miles decides to move west to rebuild his future. Evie asks him to go on their journey to the Pacific Northwest. They are accompanied by 3 women who will help Evie in the restaurant she wants to build there. Noah, Miles' nephew and foreman at the lumber mill, is not excited to see them when they arrive. The last thing he needs is this distraction of his uncle and the woman, but he can't get Evie out of his mind. Let's see what happens there. To know you. Shannon Etheridge and Catherine Mackle, 4.5 stars. To Know You is a story of what a family goes through when one of their own needs a liver transplant. Heart-wrenching. Julia Whittaker must look to her past to make sure her son can have a future. He needs a liver transplant, and she and her husband are the wrong blood type. Her last hope is 2 daughters, the children she gave up for adoption. Julie must not only find them and plead for them to get tested as a match, but she also has to tell them each who their real father is. Oh, that's going to be complicated. And we did the Octavia. How did? All right, my list is muffed up here. Um, that one, that one, that one. My Hope is Found. Joanne Bishop. The continuation. I got 4 stars. The continuation of the wonderful Cadence of Grace series brings to readers old friends and new characters who are witty, charming, and hand out advice to those who are trying to find their way. Gideon O'Reilly is finally free from his marriage to Cassie. She gave him his freedom to go back to Lonnie, his true love, and their child. Gideon knows he has a long road in front of him, but the possibility of reuniting with Lonnie is the one thing that kept him going. Lonnie misses Gideon, but she has faith that things will work out for both of them and hopes Gideon has found his faith. When the Reverend Toby McKee wants to marry Lonnie, she is torn. Wait for true love or have the chance to be with someone who can care for her and her child. Decisions, decisions, decisions. I think that's the end. Nope, one more. And this one I have seen. This one I have seen. Gunpowder Tea. 4 stars. The hunt is still on for an heiress to ranch in the 3rd installment of the Bride's Last Chance series. Filled with wit, charm, and secrets, characters are not what they seem and will risk everything to right a wrong. Miranda Hunt is undercover as potential ranch heiress Annie Beckman for the Pinkerton Detective Agency to catch and bring in the Phantom, the infamous train robber who the agency believes is hiding on Last Chance Ranch. Jeremy Taggart is an undercover Wells Fargo agent, is also looking for the Phantom. Though Miranda is suspicious that Jeremy could be the person behind the robberies, there is something between them that she can't ignore. Oh. And that is the end of inspirational. We shall now move on to mystery. I love me some mystery. Okay. Death of a Nightingale. 4.5 stars. The Danish duo just keep getting better. The second book in the Nina Borg series topped first with even more nuance and adventure, but the third is near perfect. The narrative toggles between Ukraine under Uncle Stalin in the 30s, a time of famine and totalitarianism repression, and modern day Ukraine and Denmark. Every plotline has its pathos, families, loyalties, and betrayals. In this particular timeline, this particular day, this might resonate a little. In Denmark, illegal Ukrainian immigrant Natasha Norris, jailed for attempted murder, escapes and tries to free her 8-year-old daughter from refugee camp. But she's not the only person after Karina. Various shadowy figures from her home country are closing in, and Red Cross nurses Nina Borg, who promises Natasha she'd keep Katerina safe, is in their crosshairs as well. Natasha's journalist husband died violently in Kiev, and his murder seems to somehow tie in with the story of her two sisters, who endured cruelty and hardships in the 1930s Ukraine. Smoke! My co-host has awoken from her nap. Come here, co-host. Oh, come on. Come on, co-host. Come on. Come on, co-host. Here we go. Here's a co-host. She missed me when I was at my convention. She missed Mommy a whole bunch. She was really mopey and sad when Mommy was gone. She probably didn't even understand that Mommy would be back. You never know, though. Every once in a while, you get those morbid thoughts that, if you leave the house when you ever come back, it gets kind of morbid. Um, no. Ugh, gonna have to walk over everything. Um, an old betrayal, Charles Finch. I just saw that. Figures is at the bottom of the pile. An old betrayal. 4.5 stars. Charles Lennox series continues to paint a detailed picture of Victorian life while presenting an intriguing mystery. The romance between Charles and his wife is passionate, and supporting friends and relatives are valuable contributions to the series. Charles spends long hours dedicated to his role in Parliament, but part of him misses his former career as a private detective. He often finds himself helping the police and his detective protege, Sir John, leaving less time for him to spend with his beloved wife and young daughter. When he visits a client for John, Charles Finch finds himself drawn into a complex case involving an innocent country squire's murder, a mysterious killer, and Queen Victoria. He's gonna have to make some decisions. Go back to work as a detective. I just saw this. Murder at Hatfield House. We should add this to our reading list. In 18, let's see what it says here first. My paper. Murder at Hatfield House is the story of Elizabeth before she became queen, from the viewpoint of the musician Kate. Oh, we have done some of these. I didn't like it. While Kate is a fictional servant who doesn't hesitate to put herself in danger for the princess, many characters of historical significance and the time period represented it realistically. Princess Elizabeth is under house arrest, and she and her servants enjoy the time away in the country from danger. The daughter of Elizabeth's chief musician, Kate Haywood, lives to make music and support Elizabeth, whom Kate considers the true queen. Then an envoy of Queen Mary arrives, determined to prove Elizabeth and her household are plotting against the queen. Yeah, I remember this series now. Didn't like it. I did the first one or two. You can see those videos. Preston Douglas. Whitefire. Fournette stars. Preston and Child continue their long-running Pendergrass series with his dark, gory tale. Although student Carrie's impetuous and poor judgment can be annoying, Pendergrass and the unexpected twists more than make up for it. Criminal law student Corey thinks she has found the perfect research project in examining the remains of Colorado miners who were killed and perhaps eaten by grizzlies in the late 1800s. After Carrie is railroaded by the town's wealthy citizens and put in jail, her mentor and enigmatic agent Pendergrass arrives to assist her with the investigation. While Pendergrass unravels a link to a Sherlock Holmes story that might explain present-day murders, the century-old grizzly killings, Carrie is in grave danger. See what happens there. Cold Snap. In the latest Kincaid novel, Brennan does a terrific job of weaving three murder cases as members of an extended Kincaid clan race against the clock to save lives and solve crimes. Before heading to San Diego for Christmas, at his mother's insistence, P.I. Patrick Kincaid attempts to find out why attorney Santella, the daughter of a family friend, has gone incommunicado. Patrick soon learns Ellie is trying to keep a witness alive in order to take down a powerful businessman. Meanwhile, a snowstorm delays Lucy and her boyfriend Sean Rogan in Denver, and they soon discover a dead body in a hotel. Finally, at Heart Attack lands Patriot Colonel Kincaid in the hospital where a hostage situation traps Detective Karina Kincaid in the deadly danger. Good Lord, just throw everything at these characters, why don't you? I just saw this. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Mommy loves you. Yes, she does. Okay, where were they? Accused. 4 stars. Scott Elaine brings back fan favorite law firm Rosato and Associates in this troubling mystery that pits a precocious young girl against her parents and an idealistic attorney against, well, everybody. The attorneys of Rosato and Associates are celebrating Mary DeNuzzo's promotion to partner when 13-year-old Allegra, a member of the wealthy and influential Gardner family, walks in. She wants someone to investigate the 6-year-old murder of her sister. Allegra believes that the man convicted of the crime is innocent and wants to find the real killer against her parents' wishes. When Allegra's versions of events turn out to be different from everyone else's, and the Gardeners claim that Allegra needs psychiatric care, Mary has doubts. Oh, good. I hate those type of books with the psych. I don't like those when someone is trying to tell the entire world the truth, and there's this group of people going, "Oh, you poor thing. Maybe you need to go see a doctor for that headache." Yeah, I hate those type of books. I just hate those. Um, Miss Hart, we shall see again. Ghost Gone Wild. 4 stars. Bailey is fun, feisty sleuth who finds herself in humorous predicaments when she forgets the rules of being a ghost. Heaven has given ghost Bailey Ruth the ability to visit Earth as an emissary of the Department of Good Intentions to help those in trouble, but she rarely does so without mishap. When she is set off on the rescue express and dropped off outside her hometown of Accolade, Oklahoma, she is. Wait a second. Oh, sorry. Put this back. Um, she is unsure why she's at home of Nick Magruder until she notices a rifle barrel inching through his ripped window. Bailey saves him, but now she must figure out who Nick, a successful video game programmer who has returned home to gloat over success, angered enough to want him dead. Need to look into that. Definitely need to look into that. Hey, let's move on to sci-fi. Wait a minute. I skipped one. I think. Let me just look here. Why do I have this book? It's not listed there. It's not listed there. It might have been from the last. It might have been one of the ones that didn't show up for October. I don't see it. Yep. It's one of the ones that didn't show up for October. So, no. I have no idea. You know what? Let's throw this in. This is the 2024 book. This does not belong in Flashback Monday. We'll make this our surprise book. What book is out of order? What book does not belong in this group? It must have been from one of my if thens. It had to have been an if then. Maybe the Amish if then, maybe? I'm not exactly sure. It might have been. Blessed Water. Margaret Douaihy. It might have been in my Amish, or it might have been one that I was thinking of doing a religious thing for Easter. So this may be a coming attraction. Because I don't know. I haven't gotten around to doing the Easter yet. Tattooed from her neck to her toes, and with a gold tooth as sharp as her wisecrack, Sister Holiday struggles to stay on the righteous path. Never one to make things easy for herself, she's committed taking her permanent vows with the Sisters of Sublime Blood, and to join former Fire Inspector Magnolia Rivio's latest venture, Redemption Detective Agency, both in service of satisfying her eternal quest for answers. When Sister Holiday and Rivero are stirred up by their very first client, they arrive at the rendezvous location, only to find the body of a priest floating in the swollen Mississippi River, and with it Redemption's next case. It's significantly more gruesome than their original mission to catch a philandering husband in the act, but Sister Holiday feels called on by God to hunt down the murderer and keep her community safe. Yep! This was going to be one of my religious Amish for Easter readings. So, what book doesn't belong in Flashback Monday? Here we go. There's one of those titles for you. What book doesn't belong? Will anybody even see this? I have to put that over here so I remember. Okay. We are finally on to sci-fi. Uh, I don't think, um, these didn't make it either. Like I said, I didn't pick. Alright, let's just do these one at a time and see how it goes. I just saw that book. Isn't that the one Did I put this book over here? Oh, there it is. Alright. Alright, Fortune's Pawn, Rachel Bach. That looks like the one from Aliens. 4.5 stars. Bach's space opera is a fantastic, action-packed, and accessible exploration of deep space. Devi is hands down one of the best sci-fi heroines I've read in a long time. Mercenary Devi Morris has a dream to become a devastator, a member of the King's personal armored security unit. She's also at the top, and after a year doing security on the Glorious Fool, one of the most troublesome prone trade ships, she'll reach her hard-fought goal. But the Glorious Fool gives up to its reputation, and while Devi can fight off all the baddies in the universe, the dangerous monsters and strange planets the Glorious encounters on its route are unlike she's ever seen. Not to mention her fellow crew members may be covering up something that could put her entire future in jeopardy. Oh well, not good there. So let's see. Now, this one, Parasite, Mira Grant. 4.5 stars. Parasite has an imaginative premise with lots of compelling potential. Moments related to the science behind the story. The fascinating interpersonal relationship between those affected and those not affected by parasites really drives the story forward. Symbogen Corporation managed the way human healthcare is managed. With more than a decade of successful results in hand, and its genetically adapted tapeworms have helped eradicate many of the illnesses that plagued humanity, and the general population has never been healthier. A tapeworm even saved the life of Sally, a girl in a coma whose recovery was due solely to her tapeworm, who became a foster child for the effectiveness of the implantation. But Sally doesn't feel quite the same. Her life is surreal, and there are holes in her memory. When she looks for answers, she finds more than she bargained for. Oops. And to Serpent's Rise, 4.5 stars. Gritty fantasy has always held a special place in the reviewer's heart, and Serpent's Rise more than fits the bill. Caleb is the perfect shadowy hero. He despises his father's religion and sacrifice and has opted for a somewhat more staid career path as a risk manager. Caleb Altimac is a professional risk manager who means he assesses what his bosses at Red King Consolidated consider potential hazards. His current assignment is to cleanse the city's water, and someone has poisoned, and his first suspect is a cliffhanger who gives him the slip. Oh, and he also has a demon infestation to worry about, and the fact that his father, a priest of arcane religion and leader of a terrorist organization, may have something to do with the poisoning. His own father? That is horrible. Horrible. And my leaning tower piece. Alright. Fine, you can stay on the floor. You want to be on the floor, stay on the floor. My final allegiance. We had quite a few sci-fi this time around. The Fantastic River of Souls series concludes its very satisfying manner with Allegiance. Burnett does a fantastic job of wrapping up the series with all the characters remaining true to themselves. King Leos, who held the entirety of the Krovek under his iron rule for centuries, has finally died thanks to the joining of the Jewel by Isla Zalin and Valusi Bose. Now as the political fallout of the despotic king's death spreads throughout all the kingdoms, Elsie tries to desperately find out if her beloved Raoul still lives. While she and Valera fight their way back across the lands to their homes, she doesn't understand how far the fallout will follow her, but quickly discovers there are few, if any, safe. See what happens there. Let's move on to romantic suspense. Striking distance. I just saw this. 4.5 stars. Pamela Clare. This 6 I-Team installment sees Claire at her very best, combining scorching desire with gripping, often painful exploration of healing and redemption. The plot's mystery and suspense elements are exceptional, well researched and expertly plotted. Navy SEAL Javier Cabre can't forget the passionate weekend he spent with reporter Laura Nielsen, known as Baghdad Babe. But when she discovers her held as a captive in Al-Qaeda compound, his only desire is to give her back her freedom. 2 years later, Laura is trying to reclaim her life and forget all that she left behind in Afghanistan when chance brings Javier back into her life. Javier is determined to do anything in his power to help Laura discover the truth of her abduction, including taking on the killer who haunts her at steps. Oops. The Way Home. Cindy Gerard, 4.5 stars. With 2 military heroes at the center in The Way Home, Gerard weaves a wonderful, tender tale about love, loss, and second chances. After a brief meeting 18 months before, former Special Ops soldier Tyler Brown appears in widow Jess's Albert store looking to begin a relationship with her if she's willing to take the chance. Jess doesn't think it will work, having once been married to a soldier. For her, it is too high a risk. Yet after sharing a kiss with Tyler, her heart changes. When Jess's husband is discovered alive, everything grinds to a halt. For Tyler, the chance he wants with Jess may never come, while for Jess there's a possible second chance with her husband she thought she lost. Interesting. What did I think? Wild man. I need to eat soon. I haven't eaten in 20 hours. Let's see. 4.5 stars. Hot new star Ashley's Dream Man series continues with the second installment featuring Agent Brock Slim Lucas. Tessa O'Hare is horrified to discover that Jake, the lover she thought she knew, is in fact undercover DEA agent Brock Lucas, who is investigating her ex-husband Damon Heller as a drug kingpin. 3 months after this ugly revelation, Brock shows up in Tessa's bakery determined to restart their relationship. Brock knows he hurt Tess and realizes it will take some time to rebuild that trust. Tess's heart and faith in him have been battered, but there's something about Brock that makes it difficult to refuse him. Sexy, maybe? Um, Born Wild, naked guy on the cover. 4.5 stars. Fans of the Black Knight series who have been eagerly awaiting Bill and Evie's story will not be disappointed. Take one rugged ex-SEAL plus one demure heiress, toss in a few attempted murders and some motor oil for extra measure, and you've got one heck of a plot line. Someone wants soft-spoken socialite Evelyn E instead. After also meeting her maker one too many times, she turns to the one person she knows who will believe her. William Wild Bill Reichert, former Navy SEAL and her once upon a time lover. One look at Evie's innocent, frightened face, and Bill knows she's in serious trouble despite his vow to keep his feelings from his former flame in check. Being close to Eve against her has Bill's emotions spinning faster than wheels on his motorcycle. Okay. They'll get you with the naked guy on the cover. um, One more. Mary Burton, No Escape. No Escape. 4 stars. Burton draws the reader into another suspenseful story with her latest. There's a time for one last confession from serial killer Harvey Day Smith, who sits on death row, and Dr. Joe Granger is one he has chosen to hear. Since Joe's estranged ex-husband, Texas Ranger Brody Winchester, arrested Harvey Smith years ago and is on the scene, Joe is now face to face against with her ex-love. He's a man who captivates her heart, yet with Smith's confession, a new killer is revealed and a new danger arises, particularly for Joe. Brody's aim is to keep her safe, especially now with his feelings for Joe rekindled. Okay, on to contemporary romance. I just drew on my finger. Okay. See. That I desire. 4.5 stars. Rio Chan says is the enigmatic head of security for Blade Nervone and the last single man standing in Ruth Grayson's world. Skylar Dupree has been Blade Nervone's event coordinator for 2 years, and she's convinced that Rio is her soulmate. Rio knows Mrs. Grayson's record as a matchmaker, but he's sure he has escaped her reach. Skylar may intrigue him, but he knows that when she learns his history, she'll run as fast as she can. However, Skylar is made of stronger stuff against the backdrop of an auction to benefit Mrs. Grayson's music school. Rio realizes that he not only wants to protect Skylar, but love her as well, since there have been threats to her life. You know, so I'm sitting here reading this to you, the synopsis and the review in this magazine. And I'm reading it like this, right? It's right next to the review. You know, it's hard not to see the naked guy on the cover. I'm just saying. Just wanted you to see that from my point of view. Um, Rumor has it. Jill Chavez, 4.5 stars. Chavez never ceases to amaze readers with her writing style. It almost seems as if a friend is telling a story. The fourth in her Animal Magnetism series will be a favorite amongst readers because we get to hear Kate and Griffin how sweet it is If you drive over the Verrazano and you're entering, uh, is it Brooklyn or Queens? I think it's Queens. The sign says how sweet it is. And I have a picture somewhere. Um, it's from the Honeymooners. Elementary school teacher Kate Evan has been called Sunshine, Idaho home for her entire life. She's ready to escape as soon as she finally gets over her awkward reunion with super sexy soldier Griffin Reed. Griffin has returned to town after being wounded during the war, but has too much pride to admit he needs a gentle touch to cure him. Kate could very well be the one to help, but he can't get out of his head that she was his little sister's best friend. Yeah, he needs to get past that. Um, If You Were Mine, Bella Andre. 4.5 stars. Andre scores with another fantastic Sullivan book. With this entry, she explores the emotions of two characters who have major commitment issues. Bribed into watching his brother's puppy cuddles, Zach Sullivan needs all the help he can get. When a kindly neighbor takes pity on him and calls a local dog trainer, Zach is more than happy for help. Heather Lindsay is immediately put off by her new client. He's handsome, charming, and thinks he's irresistible. Unfortunately, the attraction between them is strong, and she gives in. Zach is having feelings that he's never had before and starts to get scared that he will mess everything up, so he calls a halt to the relationship. What a chicken! What a chicken! Um, Someone just sat on my paper. Yes, ma'am. I'm almost finished. I'm almost finished. I need this paper though. Thank you. Um, we did that one, and that one. What was that book? Just had one of her books. Um, Christian Higgins. Four and a half stars. Higgins is one of those authors you can always count on for a great story. The characters are so familiar they could be your neighbors. Honor Holland has been in love with the same man her entire life. When her biological clock starts ticking, she hopes it's time for them to take to the next step. Unfortunately, he doesn't feel the same. To make matters worse, he soon becomes engaged to her best friend. Enter Tom Barlow, the British professor who would love to stay in the United States to be close to his would-be stepson and is in need of a green card. Honor is in need of a nice man. Make her an ex jealous and B help her become a mother. Okay. And I did that one. The Miracle Road. The blue one right there. I'm sorry, my computer doesn't do it very well. This 4 stars. The seventh entry in the Eternity Springs book series. This book is designed for the reader who has plenty of stress in real life and needs to go to a lovely fantasy place in peace. Yes, yes, yes. We read to escape life. Lucian Romano, star athlete and coach, thought he could keep it together after a terrible accident struck his team. But 2 years later, he cracks and goes to Mexico to be a beach bum. His family talks him into coming home to Eternity Springs to help his mom set up a B&B. He does not count on meeting his next-door neighbor, Hope Montgomery. He is very attracted and envisions a pleasant interlude. Little does he know that Hope is battling her own demons, and they work together. They work together. Um, the cookie collection. Every time I turn the page, I see this book. Four stars. There is plenty of love and heated passion to be found in Twilight, Texas, as well as Christmas spirit. Readers craving stories of finding a happily ever after will be thrilled by the Christmas cookie collection has to offer. 4 novellas previously published in e-format feature the characters from the first Love Cookie Club. Carrie's story is first, her lack of Christmas spirit, and the reasons for bringing it a bit of mystery. Raylene's story is full of even more mystery, and she keeps the plot moving quickly as readers long to find more and Shannon and what happened to Earl. Christine's story is one of the first love at last and how Christmas can bring happiness to those who at least expect it. Gracie's story is truly about the miracle of Christmas. She's a little Christmas angel who brings everyone together to witness each other's happiness. Aww. And that's the end of contemporary romance. We shall move on to paranormal romance. At 1:33. Why did I miss that? Wait a minute. I lied. Let me cross this off. We have one more. It's not on my list, but it made my book pile. 4.5 stars. Wyoming Bold, Diana Palmer. Third in Palmer's Wyoming Men series. This is a fascinating story about a heroine with psychopathics who is accepting of them and a hero willing to listen to her. Marissa Baker is a psychic, more so even than her mother. It made for an uncomfortable childhood and taught her to accept the disbelief with which her warnings were greeted. Yet when she sees danger for neighbor Dalton Tank Kirk, she can't help but tell him. Tank knows Marissa's reputation, though at first he refuses to believe her. It's not long until he sees they are real. Oh. Okay. Now on to paranormal. Although that technically that could have been a paranormal because of the psychic business. So technically that could have been a paranormal. Black and Blue, Gina Showalter. Okay. It's time for book 2 is an always awesome show with this action-packed Otherworld Assassin series, which features a trio of otherworlders with unique skills. As with the first book, the narrative kicks off after an ambush takes down Blue, Solo, John, and their leader, Michael Black. The protagonist this go-around is Corbin Blue, who meets his match. As a result of a vicious attack, Blue was literally torched, leaving him horrifically burned. Blue's Arcadian race means he will heal provided he gets somewhere safe. With all his friends missing, Blue turns to the woman who despises him. His boss, Michael's daughter, Evie, tragedy made Evie leave her father's covert organization to become a surgeon. So Evie knows what to do when Blue turns up. Blue and Evie suspect that Gregory Starr is responsible for the attack, but finding their friends and Michael takes precedence over revenge. But can they work together? That is the question. And Lauren Dane. Wild Darkness. Each book in Dane's Bound by Magic series continually builds the suspense, but Wild Darkness is the pinnacle. The fourth in the series, it does a wonderful job of bringing the stories together. Following the bombing that nearly killed witch Molly Ryan, the war between the humans and the others is getting worse. The others are frantic to prevent a law from being passed that would strip them of their rights. But the human separatist agenda is darker still. In the middle of it all, Helena Johansson becomes all the more reliant on her personal god, Fane. Against her better judgment, she can't help but fall in love with him. Aww. Nora Roberts. Dark Witch. Megastar Roberts kicks off her lively and entertaining paranormal romance trilogy set in modern-day Ireland with dark past connections. To save her children, powerful witch sorceress sacrifices herself in an attempt to destroy the evil that is Caban. Sadly, Caban was not fully destroyed, and now centuries later, he is once again attacking Sorcerer's descendants. Ian Sheehan grew up having heard the stories of Sorcerer from her grandmother, and knowing she has special connection to the horses, but it is not until Iona visits Ireland that she understands her destiny. In County Mayo, Iona meets her cousins Brianna and Connor Dwyer, and learns that Cabana's evil is again trying to manifest. Knowing her place is now Ireland, Iona gets a job at Boyle's McGrath stable. Boyle is well aware of the magic in O'Dwyer line, and soon finds herself drawn to Iona despite the danger. See what happens there. Was that it for... Okay, now urban. Archangel's Legion. I only sing. 4.5 stars. The newest chapter in the Gould Hunter saga. The focus returns to fan favorite Archangel Raphael and Gould Hunter. Elena. The relationship between these dynamic individuals continues to be utterly compelling, especially when it's interwoven with a story rife with apocalyptic events. Elena and Raphael are still trying to deal with the return of Raphael's immensely powerful mother, Calhoun, and their epic battle with the evolved Lujan when a new threat appears. Suddenly, angels are literally falling from the skies and vampires are dying of plague-like diseases. As a result of the cascade of confluence of time and events leading to developments of new powers against the Archangel Cadre, Elena and Raphael know they must find the source of this wave of death and destruction before it ruins New York. Can't have that happen. My author, she's up there. Uh, Over there. Carrie Author. The latest addition to the Dark Angel series, Author faces impressive heroine, facing a host of paranormal and supernatural threats, as well as some very human heartache. The keys to the gates of heaven and hell are missing, and for Riza Jones, the stakes in the quest to retrieve them are getting even higher. Still reeling from the pain of a recent betrayal and the loss of the angel she loved, Riza learns that members of the Vampire Council are calling for her death, until she agrees to confront the council's menacing leader, Madeline Hunter. But when her father orders her to return the keys or see all those she loves put in peril, Riza has no choice but to risk everything to retrieve the keys. Let's see what happens. I remember reading that. Her looking for the keys. I remember that. Nancy Holzner. The quarantine of the residents of Boston's dead town is getting more problematic as the undead and non-human residents resent their unequal treatment. Vicky's life has gotten a lot more complicated in the last few months, and one of those complications is threatening her life. When she was trapped in Darklands, Vicky's werewolf boyfriend Kane made a bargain with the Night Hag to get in. Kane agreed to serve the Night Hag as a hellhound for a year and a day. But when they escaped together, so did a white falcon containing the soul of Vicky's father. Oh, so now they want it back. So they have to get it back. And why did... Oh, okay. That doesn't matter now. All right. So we've got just a couple of Harlequins to go through. Oh, well, let's do it. All right, we have one contemporary romance I wanted to throw in there that I forgot I wanted to throw in. This book has been covered a few times. That's probably why I didn't think to put it on my list. But it's a Christmas book and it's shown up in quite a few Christmas if-thens. But we'll just throw it in because it is front and center. 4.5 stars. A Madeiras bride for Christmas. Once a Madeiras man makes up his mind, the lucky lady should just pick out her wedding gown. Carly Briggs lands a dream job on head pastry chef at the Grand MD Casino in Las Vegas. Another reason her eagerness to relocate is that she heard of murder being committed. This is a good time to get out of Dodge. Carly reported the crime but is anxious to put it behind her. Lee Medeiros owns the casino and is immediately drawn to Carly. So there you go. I just wanted to get that one out there. All right, it's covered quite a few times, and there is... And I might have covered it in an if-then, but we'll come back one day and do it. But there's the full page spread. Oh, and there's the Naomi. So let's see if Daniel's is intrigue. Okay, it's the first one. So let's just go look for this intrigue one. Okay. Oh, all of a sudden I gotta... Those are all the Harlequins in here, by the way. That's BJ Daniels. Christmas at Cardwell Ranch, 4.5 stars. When Tag Cardwell comes home to Montana to spend Christmas with his father and his cousin, he is wrapped up in a murder plot. Tag knows he needs some help when he obtains a flash drive containing a coded list of names. Mathematician Lily McCabe has taken leave to help her brother out and to escape the humiliation of having been left at the altar. When she tries to help Tag decode the message before anyone else dies, she is drawn into a lethal plot that could get her killed. We'll see what happens there. And Let's see. There's no. I know it's here. Let's just take one more look, see if I can find it. Oh, there's naked guy on the cover. We did Miss Rice's book for October. We've done quite a few of these Christmas books in our Christmas if-thens. For those of you who like your adult situations, Sandheim Publishing and Eller's Cave are the two. I don't see it here, but I know it's here. Let me just go. Here it is. Oh, I found it. Let's see if we can find one or two of these to do. We'll do the first one. Has that a runaway attraction? Let's see. It's the first one. Let's go. Naked guy on the cover. Got the lighting on this computer's right there. Sorry about that. We'll just. They usually don't make them that small. Runaway attraction, Farrah Roshan. Bailey Hamilton has just returned home after being exiled to the Caribbean when she learns that the threat against her life extends to her entire family. In an effort to attract some positive press, Bailey agrees to film a documentary with director-producer Micah Jones. Micah hopes to paint her a positive light and to give her the kind of support she doesn't know she needs. Bailey's strength as she tries to bounce back from tragedy is inspiring. I think there's love in there too. All right. Oh, I was gonna look for that. I forgot about that. I actually have a couple of these. Um, we are getting a little long in the tooth here. Let's see. We'll do these quickly. The fifth flavor. 4.5 stars. Reed has written a marvelous novel about a couple who must take a hard and honest look at themselves and each other before they find happiness together. Billy Court is both nervous and excited at the prospect of writing an article for the monthly magazine about an exclusive club where someone can select a man and use him for a pleasure. Well, there you go. Oh, look. Cinderella. Sharon Page. I think this book might be red. It's pictured here like in a black, but I'm pretty sure there was 3 or 4 books in that series, and it was like black and red. Blood Curse, 4.5 stars. Once again, Paige proves she can take the written word and turn it into a rollicking adventure in Regency, England. Lady Ophelia is locked away because she cannot touch anyone without killing them. She sculpts to pass the time and is fascinated by the human form. She sneaks out to view the Eglin marbles where she meets the energetic Mr. Raven, who kidnaps her. Raven is a vampire controlled by his maker. A vampire wants Ophelia's ability. Okay? And that is the end. Oh, there's another Brenda Jackson picture just so to chill out. That is the end of November 2013. Please tune in for next week for December 2013. I've got to go eat. I haven't eaten in over 24 hours now. Okay, sorry. Do you want to go have lunch? Bye. Have a good one.